Hello YouTube and welcome to yet another video. Today I'm going to play a 15-10 game versus the one and only Manmoth. And that's going to be pretty insane, I would say. So we're going to see how it goes. There's only going to be one game, but we're going to see how far we can come with this. We're going to play d4 first. Let's just play something that I usually do not play in blitz games or bullet games, but I recommend everyone who loves chess to actually figure out which piece they want to start out with, that being one of those moves or any other move actually. I tend to do a lot of different things when I play at least rapid or standard games. That can backfire really hard though, because I do not know much theory in many lines, but I know a little in a lot of lines. So we'll see what he is up to. Probably he'll play c6 or e6, but if I know him correctly, he will play... Okay, he plays e6, alright. So he usually tends to play g6 and then push for c5. But alright, this is going to be fun. So, after e6, what do we play? There's a couple of different options here. The most natural thing is knight to c3 or knight to f3. Also bring your bishop out might be considered, but as a matter of fact, after this move, knight c3, he's going to play bishop to b4, or knight to f6, of course. So now, if I play, let's say, knight to f3, he's going to play bishop b4. Then I would recommend playing queen to c2 or bishop d2. Doesn't really matter which one. It's a matter of taste, presumably. And notice that if I play this move, he can still go for this idea. So let's say I bring my bishop onto the g5 square. He brings his bishop to b4. Let's say I just continue with knight f3. Then he can actually play knight to e4. It's a really fun variation because after bishop captures, knight captures here, the queen would have to move. Or, yeah, so let's say queen to c2. And then this knight is actually attacking this king indirectly with this bishop on b4. So a bit of fireworks can happen there. But I'm going to play knight to f3. Another line I really enjoy after c6, not e6, is actually to play f3 and then e4. And the opponent that I'm playing, Manmoth, is actually quite happy with those setups. He plays them himself with f3 and e4. But he plays bishop e7, kind of passive, but still pretty safe too. Okay, so if I play e3 now, he has the option of still playing his bishop to b4. So I'm going to keep that option open for him if he wants to. This is kind of locking my own bishop inside of this, or my own pawn chain. But I'm really thinking that I'm going to go ahead and do this, and later on put my bishop on b2. So let's see what he's doing. Probably he'll castle or play knight b to d7. Yeah, he'll castle. Okay. The normal thing to do is play queen to c2, then a3, probably capturing here even. But the tension of this pawn versus this pawn is not really necessary to really do something about right at the moment. So I'm going to play queen to c2, because just keep the tension. There's no gaining in actually capturing that pawn right away. At least I don't see it. So now it's playing b6. He wants his bishop on this diagonal right here. Same as me. I want to play a3 and b4 later. So if I capture here right now, he is going to take with a knight, presumably. And if I take back, he's going to take with a queen. So what do we want to do there? I think I like just bishop to e2. And after he takes, then I take back, and then bishop to b7 or knight to d7. Then just castling. I can also considering taking here, and after knight captures, then captures back, and queen captures, and then a3. Pushing for b4 and bishop b2. And the thing is, this queen is not going to stand on d5 forever. And as soon as that queen is gone, I can push d5 and open up for my own bishop on this diagonal. So I think I'm going to do that. And if he takes with the knight here, I also have the option of playing bishop to d3. Then he probably will play g6 and place his bishop on f6 and g7, foreshadowing that bishop on his own. Yeah, but he takes with the c-pawn, the e-pawn, and says that he wants this pawn to c5 pawn break. And that's a great idea for him. Let's play bishop to d3. I assume these two moves are some of his alternatives here. Also, might consider bishop to a6. Just getting rid of this bishop right here on d3. So there's a lot of different options here for him. We will see what happens. And notice that he does not spend very much time in the opening here. And Manmoth is a really strong player. It doesn't show on his ratings as of now, but he is a force on the chessboard. Yeah, bishop a6. But I think that I can castle in this position. Also possibly play a3, but castling and possibly play this rook over to e1 and ask where he wants to do stuff after I play e4. Although playing e4 puts this pawn at a bit of a risk, because that will make this pawn really weak. But I'm going to castle. If he wants to keep on attacking me and taking pieces, I will happily do that. So I'm going to pre-move queen captures d3. I think my development here is quite alright. And there's no pin along the other diagonal, let's say, on this diagonal as well, so that he can take my rook, for instance. So there we are. And if he plays c5, I will be quite happy to trade that d-pawn for his c-pawn. Yeah, knight b d7. As suspected, he still wants this c5 move in. And also just being safe. I think I'm going to play a3. c5. And if I take now, the problem with taking now is that knight captures c5. Kind of puts that knight in a really sweet spot. And also my queen would have to step aside. So let's say captures, queen c2, rook c8, and then probably b4. Let's say knight back to e6, and then possibly bishop to b2, just keeping an eye on this one, and then queen to c7, just keeping this pin on the knight there. Might be a bit bothersome. I can also play queen to e2. But yeah. I also have the possibility to play e4 right now. pushing that pawn. So if I do that, then he can take, I take back, then he takes, I take, and then takes, bishop captures here. Yeah, I kind of like that idea. I don't see, other than the only thing I might have to be worried about is c4, but after queen to c2, I don't see how he's going to continue that. This pawn is becoming weak, and I can't really push b3 or b4. That's a negative thing about it, but if it doesn't take, I will play e5, and I will kind of get an attack going. So let's go for that. Kind of like that. Let's pre-move that. So just helping my bishop get out as well, getting more pieces active. Because right now b4 or b3 is not as strong as I would want them to be in the previous position, where this pawn was still on c7, right? So there we are. So after he takes and I take back, he can still threaten my queen there and take this pawn, probably, but still he doesn't have enough onto that. So there are different things I can play. Queen d3, pinning my own pawn to the queen, so that I can't really take because of him capturing my queen. There is queen to f4, kind of saying to my bishop, you don't have a square, do you? And queen to h4 will probably meet this knight jumping somewhere else, but where does it go actually? And after this move, and if he moves that, I could actually place my bishop onto g5. I'm not too worried about this bishop, become this pawn taking on d4. I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, I like that. Let's go. And the only thing I don't want to do is after knight to d5, play knight to g5 first, because then he has h6, threatening to capture that knight and also pinning the knight towards my queen here with this bishop, right? So I have to play this move first. That is crucial. And if it takes on d4 right away, I will probably take with my queen, because of the knight move factor here from f6. The only move that the knight can actually go to, though, without stopping the queen from attacking this pawn and this pawn attacking twice, is here. Not e7, e8. Any other move, such as these, will neglect him the option of capturing here, or I will simply take that knight. Knight d5 or knight d7 just blocks the queen from the d file or my d pawn. He could push for c4 here. That might be a good move. Then I would probably have to play something like bishop to e3 just to keep that pawn. Okay, he takes. So now he's kind of saying that, give me that draw. That's what I feel like. But queen captures d4 feels like the most safest move. But after this move, bishop to c5. Actually, after bishop c5, I don't think I'll actually trade queens here on d8. I think I'll move my queen back to h4 and be happy. I think I'll be quite happy there. But I'll pre-move knight captures d4. It's in his hands. If he wants to trade, he's gonna say to me that he really wants to play this endgame, and probably this will end in a draw. Although there are a lot of possibilities still. So he captures, okay. But the pawn structure is really just the same. We have pawns on H, G, and F, both of us, and also B and A. So really, this is going to be quite fun. And now he's offering me the bishop by playing his rook to the D file. Do I want that for my knight? Probably I do. So knight c6, rook d7, knight captures e7, rook captures e7, and then bishop to g5. And then rook to e6, rook a to e1. Yeah, I kind of like that. Let's do it. Not only kind of. So you have to move this rook once I take the bishop, because otherwise I will take here and double up his pawns on the f file. Okay, so he plays his rook here instead. That doesn't really matter that much. It's the same idea. It's the same threat. Rook here. Actually, he goes for that. Now that is interesting. Okay, kind of like it. So he wants to push. He wants to push. He doesn't really care about those double pawns. I'm going to say to him that it's going to be a bit difficult for you if you choose to do that. So let's play b4. b4 looks kind of good. b4. He's going to bring his other rook in and probably target this pawn. But as long as I let this rook stay put, there's not much going to happen. There we are. Okay. So now I think I can trade even. Put this rook over to the c file. Let's do that. The only problem actually is the rook to a2 there. Yeah, that was a mistake by me. I should have thought about that. So after captures, he actually has rook to a2, and there's no way for me to defend that a2 pawn. The problem with that is if I move my rook up, he has check, rook back to c1, checkmate. So that was a dubious move by me. I should have pushed a4, probably. Yeah, definitely. So now I was thinking which way to best deal with that. Although he has double pawns here, so he might have a hard time to deal with this side right here. Alright, so he doubles up. He's saying that he wants some action. So I'm going to take and then play my rook all the way to a1. And that suggests that I might be happy. Let's play h4, and now he has to play h5 or h6 or king to g7, or he could wait one more move. I can't really push h5 right away, but I will suggest him to push either one of these, simply because if I get this pawn over here, I am threatening a mate with my rook somewhere. Yeah, and he plays king to g7 just to be safe, just to be safe. Let's play g3. So even though my rook doesn't do much here on a1, his rook doesn't do much here on b2 either. So as soon as he wants to do some damage to my position, I can move one of these pawns, right? King g2. King to f5. Alright. So I can play king to f3, and I think I will. If he plays this move, then I simply drop back. King to e3. Yeah, king g4. That's what I thought he would play for some reason. So what I could do is actually play f3, king captures g3, rook to g1, check. If he takes here, I have king to f4. And although I'm giving away all my kingside pawns here, it looks kind of dangerous. So let's calculate on that. f3, king captures g3, rook g1, check, king captures h4, king f4, rook h2 probably, or king h3. Both of them works. Or he could play king h2 instead of capturing that pawn though. So I need to try to become more active here. This is a position that I really want to become more active. So probably I'm going to play rook to d1, and he's going to check. Then I'll bring my king to e2. He's going to take, and I'll play this rook to d4 check move, in which he will probably bring his king back to f5. I don't think he really wants to bring his king over to h3. I kind of want to do that. So even though he wins this pawn, I feel like that should be good for me. Even though this is probably even worse for me. But right now I need this rook to be more active than it is. I thought that he did not have any play here, but actually he does. It wasn't wrong with me playing king to e3. I should have brought my king back to g2 and waited to see where he wanted to go with his king first. The thing is, he has so many tempo moves with his pawns and rook that there's not really much that I can do here. Let's play king to e2, and after takes, rook d4. He is going to bring his king back, and then I have this check. King goes back, and then probably I will have a much more active rook at least. I can also play this move, but this move forces king to g6. That's the thing. Or king back to g4. let's give this check. Yep. Let's play b5. So if he ever tries to do this, I'm going to take. Now I think I can play rook to d7 here. So let's do that. If he takes, I'm going to take. So he was threatening to play a6. This is probably going to end as many of our other games. And if you watched my endgame fundamentals or endgame for beginners video here on YouTube, you probably will hear me say that our games often ends in these types of rook and pawn endgames. Super weird. But now he's definitely better, of course. Now I can probably play my rook back, and let's say he brings his rook to b3. Nah, actually, could also play this move, rook to e7. Probably even rook c7. Because the thing is, as soon as he pushes one of those two squares with his pawn, I'm going to take. And I will get my rook behind that passed pawn, and I will bring my king over to g2, and he's really having a hard time to get this pawn through, because my rook will always stay put there. And his king is so far off at the moment. You can also just play this immediately, and if he plays here or goes back, then I go back. Yeah, let's do that. It doesn't really matter that much. He's probably going to push f5. Hoping for a check on d6, and after that check he's going to play f6. Yeah. Now let's give that check, and after f6, rook here. I'm going to place my rook on b7. He wants to play f4. He really wants that in, but I think I can allow that, actually. So let's say we take king f5, and he takes immediately. All right, that's kind of fun. Let's play our rook to b7. If he takes here, then I'm going to take, of course. King f3. Rook here. So now he's going to check me, and after king up to either side. Let's give that a thought then, shall we? Yeah, king g2. Now here, and then rook to f7. I could even check him, couldn't I? That would be fun. I guess not. So now he's probably going to push f5. Would be so nice to have this g3 pawn there now. What about check, king captures, rook here? Nah, I can't play rook there, of course, because of his rook. Check here. Then f4. f4 is probably too much. Yeah. That pawn has to stay right where it is. Okay. So I'm going to place my rook onto f6, and after he pushes, then I'm not sure, actually. My thing is that I really want to attack both these pawns at the same time. I really want this here, here, but he has this move, f4. Such an annoying move. So he actually managed to get two of my pawns. That is kind of tough. Kind of tough. I'm gonna have to give this check anyways. And he's probably gonna take. I assume he is. The problem is if I play this move, he after f4, if I bring my rook here, he has this check as well. A really annoying check. But I'm going to go here, king to f3. Telling him that this king is going nowhere, at least. I'll be right back. Yeah. So I'm not sure what he actually wants to do now. Moving the rook without a check will now lead him to the loss of the b pawn probably. And by giving me the check, he allows me to get to f4. And playing his king to h3 is kind of dubious after rook to g3 check. And let's say he plays king h2, then rook g5. Yeah, I'm not sure what he should do there actually. Not sure indeed. That's pretty weird. Weird situation to be in. I'm not entirely sure though. But I hope I can save this to a draw. So now he's having a little think, and I think that's a good idea for him too. By the way, Manmoth does not play a lot of rapid or standard games online, so this rating is probably over 2000, by the way. Just to let you guys know that he is a really good player. Yeah, so rook b4, wanting to push this pawn one step forward. Trying to force me to make a move that I don't want to make. Because if I have to put my king like backwards, or if I move my rook away from this g file, I'm gonna let him win. He has 2 pass pawns as of now, and I have no chance of stopping them both. But by placing my rook on g7, I can probably force him to play rook to g4, and then play rook to b7. Then he has rook to g6 probably. He really wants to simplify and get rid of my rook with rook to g4 there. If I were to play my rook over to f6, then I would let him his king out, and that's not what I want to do, right? So yeah, I have the choice of playing this move, but I really don't want to. And this move allows this check, so that's impossible. So probably king e3 is accepted here. Probably. He's probably going to play this move though with the check. And after king moves, let's say my king moves here, then push his pawn further. But I'm going to do it. I really have such low time anyways. King e3. And if he plays f4 check, I'm going to play king f3. Then he kind of blocks this entrance with his rook, at least. f4 I think is a mistake for him actually. And as I'm sitting here and playing against Manmoth, other players actually challenge me to other games. That's fun. Okay, so a choice. King d3 or king f3. Yeah. I really need to make that choice. Yeah, king d3. If rook f4, king e3. Then if rook g4, or rook g4 right away, okay. So now I'm forcing him to play this move first. King back to e3. Suggesting that the only move he can really consider is these two moves, or bring his rook over to c4. Or give this check, of course. But yeah. He goes for that. Let's go here. f3. If he plays f4, check. I think I'll be happy after king f2. f4 will end in a draw, probably. But this is tense. 3 against 1 in a rook and pawn endgame. And with 30 seconds left on my 37 seconds left on my clock as well. Let's go here. Forcing him to move back. Or move his rook to c4, let's say. Maybe he can try rook to h1, then I'll take. And he could push. Yeah, he goes for that. I'm going to give this check, and this check again, if he goes there. And yeah, another check. He has to stay guard of this pawn. That's the problem. So if king here, I'm still going to play my rook over to b5. I think rook c4 or rook h1 was more testing, at least. Because now I'm going to constantly attack those pawns, right? So he goes for that. Okay. Interesting. He has his rook on the 4th rank though. That might prove winning for him. Maybe this is winning for him. This is actually pretty awesome. Let's give it a check. And if the rook goes over, I will take here, first of all. This is super weird and super difficult. King e2 or king e4? That's the question. Probably king e2. If I play my king to e4, he cuts off my king to really do much there. Yeah. But this is tough. This is tough, guys. Really tough. Wow. Okay, b3. So what he says is king a1, and then if this check, then I'm dead meat. Uh-huh. So now maybe I have to play king d3. I mean, playing f5, king a2. No, I mean king a1. f6, b2, f7, b1 equals queen. Probably I can get away with it though. f5. Let's go. If he plays this, I can actually play rook a5. Rook here. Yeah, he goes for that instead. That's a good decision by him. Rook b5. I'm so low on time. Pretty bad. Check. Now let's push. Push again, and rook here probably. Then I think I can take. King here. I have so little time left. I don't have enough to calculate this. Probably I should have though. Yeah. Now if I play this, he gives this check. Then I move here. Then he brings his rook over here. Probably. Or he gives another check. Then my king has to step back. But it's kind of my only thing that I can do. But no, rook f2 is the winning move here. Rook f2, of course. But then I have king d1. Because a rook f2 does not work. Yeah. Correct move. Rook d7. I agree. If I move my king up here, he has king to c1. That's the problem. So hard. And now simply playing rook to c7 should win him the game, I would suggest. Maybe not, maybe not. Rook here, rook d4. Rook d4 wins. Rook d4. That is a theoretical win. Yeah, He should play that at least. And why I'm not resigning is beyond me. Just want to like play this out anyways, because he and I went through these endgames. Okay, rook d8 instead. Okay. I'm gonna go here. He found another win, so now he's gonna bring his rook over here. Yeah, that's too bad. There's no way for me to defend against that. Okay, let's give that a check. Why he didn't go there right away? Like, it's the same though. It is the same. Yeah, let's go here. And let's resign. Good game to Manmoth. So we're gonna go through this game actually. GG. And let's see what happened here. D4, D5, C4, and E6. So a pretty standard Queen's Gambit here. And after C captures D5, and he captures back with his pawn, he's kind of suggesting that he wants to play this anyway, so probably I shouldn't have brought my bishop out to D3, but rather maybe actually played something like A4, A5 in this position, trying to undermine this pawn chain right here. But alright. Yeah, so captures, and knight b to d7. And as I mentioned, he really wants to push c5, and that's what he did. And I really think that this position right here is quite balanced. Quite balanced indeed. And even after the queen trade here, if I move my knight, as I did, and took the bishop, I thought I would be better, because of these doubled pawns if he chose not to guard that knight. But as it turned out, he found a resource there. And after this doubling, like in this position right here, I mentioned that this was a mistake, rook a to c1, because he could have actually taken here and played rook to a2, which would allow him to win this pawn anyways, and that would have been more straightforward for him actually. But yeah, so after that, we should have tried to trade it. I should have tried to become more active with my rook, I believe, instead of doing what I did. Let's go back. A lot of moves here. I'm sorry, guys. Here we are. So yeah, b4 was probably a mistake. Probably a4. And if he then plays a5, maybe I can even aim for b4 there. Like, if I try to do this, he's still going to attack both the f pawn and the b pawn anyways. And my rooks will both be kind of passive. But in this position, rook a1, I felt like he shouldn't get so much counterplay. Rook b2 is a really nice move, because that stops me from actually ever being able to push a4. Here I could have tried rook to e1, and probably I should have. Maybe that would have been better, to just safeguard everything. But I thought to myself that this rook is so ridiculous, and my rook is also ridiculous. But after king e3, king e3 was the major blunder, I would say. Yeah, because I do not allow my rook to guard that a3 pawn. Much better would have been to play this move, rook to e1, and just guard it. And if we ended up in this position right here, where he would take my rook and I would take it back, I think that I have the advantage there because of his doubled pawns. But yeah, that's kind of nice. And I really didn't have so little time at this point either. So I don't know why I didn't think twice before moving my king to e3, but that's what happens, right? And here again, could have played rook to d3, but that would have resulted in captures, and king to f3. That's why I did not play that, because then I lose this f pawn, and then probably the g3 pawn and h4 pawn. And even though we can count on that, actually, we can calculate that. Let me just go to move rook 31 here. In this particular position. If we go here, he takes, I take here. I do not have the option of going to e4. So I would then probably play a4. Captures here, and that h pawn becomes so strong, and there's no way for me to actually stop that from promoting. And if I instead of that played, let's say here, I would have still lost, because he is in no position. I am in no position to do anything about that pawn on the f-file. So that's kind of sad, but rook d3 does not work. Rook e3, on the other hand, previously would work in this position right here. And I'm actually quite worried about that, because I felt like I wanted that move by playing my king to f3, but for some reason I did not actually fully see that move. That's sad. That's very sad. But yeah, let's continue. And after these moves, rook d4, check. He has to step back to f5. And rook d5, check. Here I had the option of just putting my rook back to d4, or even pushing f3, or maybe going back with my king here, just to safeguard these pawns. But I felt like that wasn't necessary. I felt like after b5 he does not win that pawn for free. And yeah, by showing you that, if I do not move my rook to d7 immediately, like if I play, let's say, king to f3 here, he is going to play a6. And I can't take because my rook is under attack. And if I play something like this, he's going to take and protect that pawn. And there's not much I can do to prevent him from capturing another pawn. that would be game over for me. So let's see what happened. After rook to d7, he played rook to a3. A good move, just stopping me from getting more active with my king here. I played my rook back, and now he played f5, as I almost suggested that he should play, although I didn't think it was the best option for him. But after rook a4, that's something that I missed again, pushing f4 and getting rid of those double pawns, and actually getting a safe square for his king to go to. So rook b7. Like in this position, I saw that he wanted to do that, but now it's a bit too late. If I play my king to f3, he can probably play rook to a5 or even check me down here. And then if I move up, then maybe he can even go here. I think this is bad for me if I move my king up as well. But yeah, this is making that pawn really weak. Rook b4, back again. Rook b7. That is kind of an unnecessary move. I should have probably played my king to f3 immediately instead of playing rook to b7. But I was thinking that if he takes here, I'm going to take here. But if he wanted to take here, he would have done it immediately, right? And why didn't he? Why didn't he play here? Well, let's look at that. If he takes, then I can play rook to b7. And then I am the one who captures this pawn first. And that would probably end in an actual draw. Because his rook has to guard this pawn. And his king has to stay away from checks for my rook here. Because once my pawn moves to b7, as you guys might know, a check like that would give the king the option of going backwards or forwards. But either way, even if it goes to, let's say, f7, I will push my pawn and promote to a queen. Then he would have to take. He can't take my rook because that is defended by the queen. And then I would take this rook back with mine. Alright, that's not what happened, of course. He saw that. So he took my pawn there, king f3. And now I thought I was quite happy in this position, but as a matter of fact, he wins another pawn there. Kind of bad decision by playing my king to f3 right there. Yeah, I don't know what else to do here though. Maybe I could have pushed f3. We even played king to g3 right now. King g3 probably. Just not allowing him this square after the check, because then I have f3. Yeah. So another mistake by me. Not playing my king to g3 here. I should have done that. Instead I played this move, and I did not think that this check was doing any harm, because I thought I could pick up one of these pawns anyways. But as it turned out, I had a really hard time dealing with that. And maybe king back to f3 here is a better choice. So here, king f3, and if it goes here now, then I can play rook to f7. And then if he tries to play this, then I at least win this pawn. Well, he has to play this move, then I can take here. So maybe he could have gone back though here. Yeah, that's what he could have done. That's probably something that I mentioned in the video as well. I do believe I saw that. Yeah. At least I do believe I mentioned it. If I calculated on that, I'm not sure. But yeah, rook g4 was the main line, or main move. Now he has a lot going on. And still, I thought by winning this pawn, that would be sufficient. But apparently this king to c4 is really annoying. So by doing that, after king f6, rook here, check, king here. Maybe I should have gone with king to d3. King d3, and if rook to f4, then probably I could have checked, and after his king moved back, then I don't know, probably king e3. And if king moved here, then probably back here anyways. Here, and I would go to b8, king here, and probably this would have also ended in a draw. I don't see other than rook to c4 maybe. Then king to d3, rook here check, king d2, king here. I can't really give that check, but also he might even take here and push. Maybe that works out for him actually. That's not gonna happen. He's going to lose this pawn then, if he plays f4 at least. So after that move, probably king to d5, king to e2, or simply not king e2 but rook h4, taking, and if king here, then here. Yeah, that would have also ended in a draw. The reason for that is my king is so close to this pawn that this rook can't really push this king away. That's the problem, and that's why he plays rook to d8, just to, in the game of course, because that really just put my king off. Although I think it was actually much more straightforward with my line there, as I can show you in a second. f5. And here, after rook captures h5, rook f8. I don't think there's much I can do in this position right here. I do not think it works, or anything works. And I'm sorry about that. I just noticed that the board was a bit off. But yeah. And could I have done something else in this position? Could I have played, let's say, rook c5? If he takes, then I promote. Even now I think he wins actually. If I take, he can promote. Well, this is definitely going to end in a draw, of course. Even here is cleaner. Yeah. Rook f8, I didn't know what to play here, and I think I had like 10 seconds left or something. 30 seconds. Maybe 30, 40. I don't know. But I felt like before these moves, I didn't have enough time to calculate anything. Kind of sad, because this was a crucial part of it, but I don't see a continuation for white anyways. I could give this check, but my king is too far away. If my king was on d3 instead, I think I could have saved the game. Like here, let's say give him a move. Let's give me a move. Here, here. And now it is my turn. I would have played king to c3, and he would have taken, and then I could probably play something like rook to h2 or rook to h1, check. Rook h2, check. I can't really go there either. Okay, so this is also lost. But yeah. What about this move? What about rook b5 now? Check. No. check. If he go, I can go here, then he goes here. Then I can totally go to a2, but that would be a mistake because of this check, and then I'm forced up to b3 again, and then he can queen. So yeah, this was probably lost from the beginning. But after rook captures f7, after these moves right here, like king c3, same thing. He has king to c1. And there's no way for me to defend against that. This pawn is going to promote. Yeah. And there's no stalemate tricks either, as far as I'm concerned. But in this position right here, I think moving his rook to d4 right away would have just won him the game immediately. So let's look at that. Rook d4, king e3, rook b4, king d3, king c1, and even if I give this check, king d1, I don't have enough time because this comes with a check, and there's nothing I can do to prevent that. So I think rook to d4 was a better choice for him, at least. If I go here, just trying to, well, if I go here though, he could probably give a check, but he can also just wait. He can just wait. And if I wait, then probably he's going to play this check, and then after these moves, yet again, he's winning. Yeah. No mercy here. And here I thought that rook to f4, c4 would just kill me, but he has to go here anyways, right? So king b3 was just the better choice. I thought king b3 was unnecessary, but it actually turns out to be the more precise move. King e2, just trying to stay alive, but there's no way to stay alive here. And let's hope after this move that he plays king to c4, right? That's hope just for you. Alright, this was a really fun game. Played against my good friend Manmoth, or Lars, as his name really is. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. It was really a testing and challenging game to play. And if you like this video, please subscribe, and if you have any questions, please post them in the comments below, or send me a message on chess.com or any other chess page that I'm on. If you want to play against me, then check out my Twitch channel as well. I have a Twitch channel where I stream not that often, but regularly, at least twice a week or so. I don't have any schedule as of now, but I would very much love to have that in the future, but it's kind of chaotic right now to be able to do that with everything going on. But thank you for watching. Do play more games yourselves and be happy about playing those games, because by watching this video you're probably wanting to become a stronger player, and that's what everyone wants, right? So keep up the good work and have fun. Alright, see you guys. Bye.